Hello everyone and welcome to the online presentation of Microsoft Office SharePoint by Kyle Apfel and Chris Holmes. Alright, give you a quick overview about what this presentation is going to be out. We're going to show you a quick video about SharePoint. We're going to go into some background information, talk about Group Supportive Systems or GSS. We will then talk about advantages and disadvantages of GSS, SharePoint as groupware, how GSS leads to a competitive advantage, how companies using SharePoint on a GSS system leads to a competitive advantage. We'll then do a conclusion and then any questions. Okay, so some background information about Microsoft. Microsoft is an American multinational technology company. It is headquartered in Redmond, Washington. It was founded in 1975 by Bill Gates and Paul Allen. Microsoft develops, manufactures, licenses, supports, and sells personal computers, consumer electronics, personal computers, and services. It is probably best known for Microsoft Windows, the operating system, Microsoft Office, so PowerPoint, Word, Excel, uh, Internet Explorer, other web-based browsers, as well as many other things. Microsoft is in a lot of different areas in the technology field. SharePoint is a web-based application that is integrated with Microsoft Office. It is used on the enterprise level. It is used for content and document management, intranet and social network, collaborative software, file hosting services such as the cloud, and then other web applications that are all able to be customized to companies to do specific things that they need. Okay, so some more about group supportive systems. Group supportive systems are intended to assist the decision-making process for groups working on a task. It also is designed to formulate, process, implement some of the decision-making tasks, as well as break down some of the limitations of groups working separately from each other. It kind of allows for multiple groups to have a little bit of traction and figure out kind of what the groups around them are doing inside of a company. It helps facilitate and enhance decision making. It helps provide a more clear focus for group discussions and try to help focus the attention more on the critical issues of a project. It helps provide supportive management to kind of, push the project in the way they'd like it. In terms of usefulness, it's really good for like committees, review panels, board meetings. It takes down the communication barriers of people being located all over the place. They're able to input their information in one location, and everyone inside of a group or everyone inside of multiple panels would be able to view and access that information in real time. All right, so some advantages and disadvantages of a GSS system. A couple advantages are the costs with being able to do things online via video conference, working together on the same projects in a shared document system. You lower the cost the company is to having to fly people around locations to have meetings, putting them up in hotels and stuff. Uh, Location, it can happen virtually anywhere. You don't even have to leave the comfort of your own home to be on a conference video call. Collaboration, since you're able to get access to many different parts of your company all over the world, you can get a lot of different information, a lot of different input, and help your decision making to be even better. And it also allows more time for figuring out the plans, so you're not having to worry about getting to a meeting, flying people all over the place, putting them up in hotels. They're able to have it in anywhere inside of their building, like I said, the home. They're able to just jump right into the problem and work on it and not have to try to coordinate and figure out who's meeting who, where are they meeting, stuff like that. Now, for some disadvantages for a GSS system, Lack of human touch. A lot of decisions are, handled and dealt with while having a conversation with like hand gestures, handshakes, eye contact, and other nonverbal cues that sometimes in a video conference get lost. Unnecessary meetings, since it's so easy, so convenient to set up times to have video conferences and talk, you sometimes can have too many meetings where nothing good or nothing productive is coming out of those kind of meetings. And then security. Security is always an issue. Who's watching? Who's a part of this? Are they allowed to be there? Are they not allowed to be there? Is the information you're putting out private, connection secure? Who's watching it? The security part is kind of the big one. Is if you're discussing company secrets online over the internet, it sometimes isn't always safe and secure. So that is one of the disadvantages.
SharePoint as groupware. SharePoint supports the decision-making process. It enables multiple forms of communication. And SharePoint comes in two different flavors. One of them is the internet-based version that you would actually install the software on your own systems. And then there's also the internet-based system where SharePoint is hosted on Microsoft servers. There's multiple platforms for SharePoint. It can help to provide audio and visual conferencing. It can help with automated booking, with brainstorming, database access. Although if you use the online version of SharePoint, it's much more limited. It's harder to search the database, and you can't actually make file changes online. Email is another platform for groupware, online chat, scheduling, to-do lists. Everyone can basically create their own website, their own web page for SharePoint, and they can put their different projects, their different documents on these web pages, and everyone can share these documents and make changes in real time. And then it also supports workflows. So, and these workflows can be automated, which means that basically you'd have a process for decision making and for making changes to files, for sending out emails, and just automated workflow processes. And SharePoint helps to make this process easier. How GSS leads to competitive advantage. Location. GSS enables businesses to meet online. They don't have to send people to business conferences. They don't have to plan out trips to meet. They can do everything online. It's quicker. It's more efficient. It costs less money. Just the trip alone to get a group of people to come together to have a meeting in person could cost just about the price of implementing a GSS solution. Collaboration, it's easier to collaborate. Groups are going to collaborate more often. Decision makers will be able to be on the same page, and it's a really big competitive advantage for businesses. How using SharePoint on a GSS leads to a competitive advantage. So, using SharePoint for your group support system is going to allow everybody in the group that is working to help to make these decisions to have the same accurate information that's up to date. This is really important. If people aren't on the same page, then how is everybody in the company or in the group going to know where they stand in regards to the decision-making process, and what the final decision is going to be? SharePoint really looked at customer intimacy, and they looked at what businesses need to help them to make good decision-making processes. And information is key. The fact that SharePoint ties into your database allows the groups that are working to make these decisions to tap into the database to look at data, to look at analytics, and to use chat and just simple features like this to make sure that everybody is on the same page with the group making process. Another advantage of using SharePoint for your decision making process is the fact that if you're using the online version, it doesn't matter what software you're running. You can be running Linux, you can be running Mac. It doesn't matter. You can log in to SharePoint on any of these systems, and the same data, the same decision making and collaborative abilities will be available to you and your team.
All right, so in conclusion, we showed you a video about SharePoint. I talked about a background, a little bit about Microsoft, a little bit about SharePoint. We talked about group supportive systems, or GSS. We talked about some disadvantages and advantages of GSS systems. SharePoint is groupware, and then how GSS leads to a competitive advantage, and then how companies using SharePoint on a GSS leads to a competitive advantage. All right, that wraps up our presentation. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this. If you have any questions, please comment below, ask them away, and we will answer them. Thank you very much.